All right, let's go. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Life Vantage Opportunity webinar. My name is Gabe Pearson, and I am really excited to be here live, but more importantly, for each and every one of you, I'm more excited. Tonight, you're going to hear a business presentation that's a literal breakthrough in a product that has had a massive impact on thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of lives. Now, because this product in this breakthrough, we're going to talk about the product because I think without knowing the significance of the product, you might lose the significance of the opportunity. And because of the significance of this product, there's a massive story behind the company that has exclusive rights to this product and how you can partner with this company that has exclusive rights. And if you see what I saw 14 and a half years ago, this could be one of the biggest and best journeys you've ever taken in your life. This business has set me all over the world. And to be able to experience other continents, helping people build their business, getting them healthier, and realizing their dreams has been truly amazing. So let's jump right into this. Sometime last week, I heard this and it kind of blew me out of the water. So I want to share it with all of you tonight. Did you guys know that there was a recent study, a survey done by a company, payroll.org, that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? 78%. And if you dig a little deeper into the study, you'll find a large number of six-figure earners, you heard me right, are living paycheck to paycheck. Also, did you know, and this is crazy, but all of us have felt it, but didn't know the numbers behind it. Did you know it costs us about $1,000 a month more this year just to have the same things we had in 2021? So your lifestyle in 2021, like the car you drive, the place you like to go eat, the places you like to shop, your groceries, your gas, whatever that is, it cost you more this year than January 2021. So in a little over 3 years, you've got to make up that extra money. And you guys probably have felt that number in a different way. And that's the purpose for all of you being here tonight. I absolutely know that what we're going to lay out for you is a solution. And why do I know that? Well, personally, we got crushed in 2029. At that time, we owned a wellness company and we lost 3 six-figure contracts in 30 days. We went from 20 trainers down to 5. And my business went from like this to like that. You know, we had a beautiful office with 4 admin people to my wife being the admin person, my home being the office. So you get what I'm talking about. I mean, we were on the wall of worry financially. So hopefully you get the picture, right? When you think one door is starting to close, and I'm not saying that door was closing by any means back then, but it was starting to, another one starts to open. It gives you some hope. And I'm hoping this presentation is one of them, right? So my story is I received a call to be a keynote speaker in Atlanta. And so I went up to Atlanta to try to drum up new business, to try to retool my company. And after my speech, a complete stranger had the courage to walk up to me, thank goodness, and ask me if I've ever heard of a product called Protandem. And I'm telling you, if there wasn't a bunch of people waiting in line to speak to me behind her, I probably would have turned around and walked away from her. I've just never endorsed a product in the 30 years I was in the wellness space. And that particular time in my life, this one wasn't going to be the first. Okay. The next thing that came out of her mouth literally retired me from the fitness business 22 months later. And that was, would I be willing to watch a 9-minute video on an ABC primetime investigative report? I watched the video, and when this world-renowned scientist, who, by the way, never even heard of before, gave John Quinones, who I've seen on that show many, many times, his blood test results, I'm literally elbowing my wife. I'm like, honey, this hasn't happened yet. This is history in the making. And if we can validate this, I think it would solve a lot of our financial problems. So our wellness company had just finished doing some work with the Mayo Clinic. So I went to a few of those doctors who I built a great relationship with, and I asked them one question. I asked them, if you're going to put your name, your precious name on a product, where would you go to validate it? And do you know, not one of those doctors sent me to the University of Google. And basically what they've told me, that's precisely where you don't want to go. Unless, well, that was 2009. Today, there's something called Google Scholar, which eliminates all the bloggers. They just said this to me, Gabe, when we have a question that needs to be answered, we go to our Library of Science. It's the National Institutes of Health. And they just instructed me to type in the name of the product in the search bar. And they said, if you get a hit, we want to know a little bit more about this. So the long short of it is, when the best doctors, or some of the best doctors in America, validated the science for me. And by the way, after all these years, they're still on this flagship product, Protandim NRF2. That's all I needed, was that validation. I just checked the box, got on the product, and learned how to become a professional in this industry. 22 months later, my wife and I had the choice to walk away from a 30-plus-year career in just 22 months to pursue this full time. It was this product right here and this company, LifeVantage, that enabled me to make a complete change. My one purpose for you tonight being here, if you're a guest or anyone that's here, is that you see this information and that we put you in a better financial position in the coming months and year than you are right now. Sound good? Because what I do know, none of you that are here tonight want to make less money this year than last year. And you want to make more for obvious reasons. Things are getting more expensive. So let's just jump into this. Let me share my PowerPoint with you. All right. It might take me a couple clicks, but I need to cover a disclaimer first. I'm going to talk about money tonight. I'm going to talk about lifestyle. I'm going to show you a financial document. LifeVantage doesn't guarantee any income or rank success, just like life, right? Consultants' earnings simply depends on due diligence, right? Work ethic. It's an opportunity, and you can make it as small or as big as you want, just like everything in life. So let's talk about the LifeVantage story, the company behind these two products that I'm going to cover tonight, and this medical breakthrough. So we're going to talk about something called activation. And, for that word, activation is what separates us from the crowd. It's a completely different route from what many companies are doing in the supplement world. And then we're going to talk about how you get paid. Okay. So we're going to talk about the story. We're going to talk about the breakthroughs. We're going to talk about activation, and we're going to talk about how you get paid. So let's jump into the to the LifeVantage story. Okay. See the apple right there? What happens to that apple when you cut it in half in about 15 or 20 minutes? I mean, it turns brown, right? It oxidizes. And that's a great illustration of something that's going on inside of our bodies. So here's the problem. And you all know there is no opportunity unless you can solve a problem. From the moment that we are born and you start breathing, you start creating something called oxidative stress. It's damaging to your cells. The exact same thing as the apple. Once that skin is broken, it's exposed the inside of the apple to oxygen. Oxygen is corrosive. It turns brown or it oxidizes, just like metal rusts and just like we age. And thank goodness our bodies produce antioxidants like SOD. And when we're young, we have an overabundance of them, right? So think about this. When you're young, the good guys are winning the war against the bad guys. And you can see this illustration of this slide right here. To the left is your antioxidant production, like SOD. And look right here. Well, you can barely see 20 right there. You can see 40, but when you're born, you have an overabundance of these good guys. But unfortunately, as we get older, that production slows down over time. And at some point, it gets almost zero. And that, my friends, is what we're talking about tonight, because there is a solution to this. This diagram illustrates when you take this product right here, Protandim NRF2, from the moment you take your first tablet, your body starts doing what it used to do. And the science that we're going to share with you tonight proves that within 30 days, your body is doing things it hasn't done, listen to me, since it was 20. And if you care about your health and you think your health is a big deal, you need to pay attention to this, because we're the only company in the world with this technology and have patents and science behind this product, Protandim NRF2. So I'm 64 years old. The science says that I need to be on this product for 30 days. I've been on for 14 and a half years. And let's say we're looking at my blood under a microscope, and then we go find somebody half my age, 30. And you compare them, and the 30-year-old's not taking the product. You compare the slides, my blood at 64 is actually 10 years younger than the 30-year-old. That's what I'm talking about. So the $64,000 question is, what does that mean, right? Get into that, all right? So this product, Protandim NRF2, is made up of 5 powerful herbs that an incredible scientist put together that works synergistically together, that increases, as you can see the slide, 18-fold, or it's 1,800% more powerful than an individual ingredient, right? So it works synergistically together, that changes the chemistry, that increases gene expression and flips on a pathway called NRF2. And you might have heard of some of the herbs. It's green tea extract. That's thermogenic, anti-cancer, uh, turmeric, anti-inflammatory, milk thistle detoxifies the liver. Couple of Ayurvedics. If you don't know what Ayurvedic means, it's the science of life. Bacopa, which is good for mental clarity and focus, and ashwagandha, which is good for brain health, like memory and things like that. There's so much more incredible information to share. For example, you can go to the National Institutes of Health website, pubmed.gov. And if you type in the search bar Protandim, you're going to find 28 peer-reviewed studies on the product. The operative word is product, not ingredients that's in the product. And I believe there's 3, maybe 4 studies that are currently still under the peer-reviewed process. You have to understand the enormity of what peer-reviewed means. It's the most scrutinized way to get something completely validated by experts in that field of study. And you have to understand, when it's peer-reviewed, what that basically means, listen to me very carefully, it's not subject to opinion, all right? That has never been done before on another product with this much science that's made from plants when it comes to reducing oxidative stress. And you're talking about the big boys. I mean, I don't know if you saw some of those journals or some of those universities. You're talking about Harvard, the American Heart Association, Colorado State, Virginia Commonwealth, the Free Radical Biology and Medicine, the most powerful journal that we have, just to name a few. And when I started back in 2009, there were only 20,000 peer-reviewed studies on oxidative stress. Today, there are over 320,000 studies. So put your entrepreneur cap on. Do you think we're onto something? It didn't stop there, folks. All right. This world-renowned scientist that created this product, he is a recipient of what's called the Elliott-Cresson Medal. Okay. He's in the same company. Have you ever heard of Alexander Graham Bell? What did he invent? How about Henry Ford? The Wright brothers, Albert Einstein, Madame and Pierre Curie. That man down there next to the medal, our formulator, Dr. Joe McCord. He discovered SOD in the late 60s. And it's significant enough to change the course of humanity, right? So we didn't stop there, because this discovery was made in 2003. There was an ABC primetime investigative report, and I'm telling you, folks, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. That video literally had the hair in the back of my neck stand on end, because what I witnessed when John Quinones received his blood test results was history in the making. I understood that back then. And I knew that science hasn't happened yet. And I remember elbowing my wife, telling her that. So we really, as a company, started to get going in 2009. In 2009, we start to realize that there's other cellular pathways that we can flip on, other cellular switches. Coming up this summer will be basically 2 years since we launched our first activated collagen. It's the world's first activated collagen. And what do I mean by activation? Is just simply getting your own body to do what it was born to do. This product, Protandim NRF2, makes your body make more SOD. Folks, listen to me. There's no SOD in the product. It's flipping on the genes that make SOD. It upregulates or makes more glutathione by 300%. Folks, there's no glutathione in the product. You saw the 5 ingredients. It flips on the pathway that gets your own body to make its own glutathione. Now, I know people personally that spend $300 or $400 a month getting infusions of who knows who else's glutathione that is. But wouldn't you think, from very simplistic way of thinking, that getting your own body to make its own, and by the way, this is not $300 a month, $60 a month, and it upregulates it by 300%, by the way. Wouldn't you think that makes more sense? Getting your own body to do what it was meant to do. And that's what these products do. These 5 herbs literally flips the switch, and your body makes enzymes like they did when you were 20. When you're 20, do you have gray hair and wrinkles and you're walking with a cane? You don't even age for the first 20 years of life. You just grow because you have so many of those antioxidant enzymes, the good guys, right? All right. Our activated collagen has won all kinds of awards all over the world. And you can look this up. And now there is a patent pending with our liquid collagen and our product Protandim NRF2. It's unreal. So what are some of the benefits? Okay, let me just kind of go over this with you, because a lot of people think collagen is just for wrinkles, right? How about muscle recovery? How about your joints? How about gut health? And people that have problems with their stomach, I'm telling you what, that is a major, major deal. How about your eyes? I didn't realize your eyes were 90% made of collagen. Liver health, your heart, your sleep quality. So just don't think about wrinkles like most people do. So what does it do? It activates, all right? It replenishes and maintains your collagen. Most people take collagen to replenish what they've lost. We activate the genes that makes collagen in our body. Your body is making its own. We're also give you some more collagen and also have ingredients that help you hang on to it longer. Here's an 8-week study. This is crazy right here. We've run the studies, and when the most impressive things in this 8-week trial is that we increase collagen density by 100% in just 8 weeks. This is what it looks like. And I mean, this is crazy when you get your own body to make its own collagen. I mean, look at that. Come on. And this is not photoshopped. I know these people. This is unreal. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look at that. Look at the crow's feet, right? Look at the neck. It's absolutely insane. Look at those legs. I mean, it's nuts what the difference is. And our collagen is liquid, and it tastes fantastic, by the way. I like to refrigerate it. It tastes like it's appleberry. It tastes really, really good. So the question is, why liquid? But you have to understand what's available out there. We're the only activating collagen in the world right now. And what's out there is a peptide, based powder, right? Which you have to understand, they're large collagen protein pieces that are hard to digest. And then they need to be broken down by the enzymes. So you're only getting 10 to 30% absorption. Our liquid collagen uses these hydrolyzed collagen. In other words, it's chopped up in very, very small pieces, so your body doesn't have to break them down. It makes it so much easier to absorb and utilize. It's 90% absorption. So if you're spending money on a powdered collagen, do you just want to get 10 to 30% of your money? Or would you rather spend money and get 90% of your money? So these hydrolyzed collagen pieces are highly water soluble, all right, whereas regular collagen is not. So the most efficient form is liquid. It creates this extremely high bioavailability, okay? So we don't have the nasties in there, right? Here's what's not in it. No added sugar, no artificial sweeteners, no GMOs. It's dairy-free, it's gluten-free, it's soy-free. Now, what's really fascinating is, and this is patent pending right now, we have a little bit of science that's been leaked out, but our liquid collagen together with Protandim NRF2 upregulates so many more genes. But the biggest thing that we do know right now, it upregulates SOD by 2,800%. Now, if you've never heard of superoxide dismutase, SOD, that is what our formulator created in 1969. You have to understand the significance of what it does to your body. You need to look this stuff up to be able to have 5 natural ingredients that doesn't have SOD in it, right? And that's this product and the liquid collagen, be able to upregulate it by 2,800%. You need to be screaming out the mountaintops, telling everybody that you love and care for, and you need to jam it down their throat, because that's how important it is from the health perspective. I mean, I can tell you my testimony. Some of you might not know, I was surfing on a pretty big wave in very, very shallow water, and I landed on my surfboard and I fractured all 4 of my transverse processes in my lower back. Now, understand this. 64-year-old, I am in great health, knock on wood, right? So I was in good shape when that happened. And once it did happen, I immediately went to rehab. And I did everything humanly possible to rehabilitate myself so I wouldn't have any adverse side effects moving forward in my life. And what's fascinating, and I should have spent a little bit more time with this radiologist, but my very last x-ray, I had to get x-rays done every 3 weeks to make sure there was no instability in my spine. And after my 12th week, the lady came out to me and she looked at me and she goes, based on your age, I'm looking at results that a 20-something-year-old would see. In other words, I was 6 to 8 weeks further along in my rehabilitation, how much I healed faster. Now, I do have to admit, I was scared to death, so I took 2 of those liquid collagens a day, okay? And that's what she said to me. So I can tell you one thing, knock on wood, I've been back working out now for 2 or 3 months, and I have no issues. And I truly believe this liquid collagen has a lot to do with it. It's a little tidbit, all right? So, we have other products out there that are activating different pathways. I'm not going to get into it because it's just too much information. You can see on this far left, you can see our Protandim NRF2, our flagship product, but there is a brother and sister. We have other pathways. We have the NRF1 pathway that turns on your body's ability to make more mitochondria. This one right here, the sister, there's another pathway that's activated, that's NAD. That cleans up all the nasty stuff in your cells. And that's the longevity pathway, right? Do any of you have pets? Why do pets age 7 times faster than we do? They have 7 times the oxidative stress levels we do. And we have a pet tandem that slows that down, right? Some of our best customers are these incredible uh, dogs and horses around this country. All right. We have shampoo that activates pathway. We have our skincare. Those three protandems basically works inside the body. Our skincare regimen, by the way, has a patent, an NRF2 patent, and basically they work in tandem. That protects your body on the outside. The pills, Protandem, works the body on the inside. So if you want to protect your body 50%, just take the three Protandems. If you want to protect your body 100%, take the skincare regimen, right? With that. So as the weeks go by, I will have professionals, doctors that will take one of these products and really get into the deep stuff. All right. But I wanted to show, the significance of what we have. Okay. So for all the entrepreneurs that are listening to me tonight, that are watching, you probably see a profit potential. I know I did. And you may be thinking you want to take this, right? Take the products or share this with people that you love and care for. I know I did. Or someone that needs to hear about this opportunity. In fact, we all know that most loyal customers and best customers are usually referrals. I built my fitness career and LifeVantage business out of referrals. And this business is word of mouth advertising, right? It's the world's oldest and most powerful market, sharing information with people who we have a relationship with. So our company has exclusive rights to these products and has put together a business model that allows you and I and people that may have never done anything like this before. I know this is my first time venturing into this space. This company has put together a business that allows what we do naturally to get paid. Simple, right? So let me share with you the company LifeVantage. Okay. All right. In a few weeks, we're going to be celebrating our 15-year anniversary. We are based out of the US. I know that's a big, big question I get a lot. Okay. We're just outside of Salt Lake City. We are a publicly traded company. This past summer, we had the honor and privilege to be a select few to go up to Times Square with corporate and ring the closing bell. Now, folks, I've been all over this world. I've done some incredible things in my lifetime, and that had to be top 3, top 5, right? I mean, it was an incredible experience. And I want all of you to know the reason why we were able to go up there and close that bell, because that particular quarter, with us launching this liquid collagen, we outperformed most of the NASDAQ companies, right? They asked us to come close that bell, which was really, really cool. The company's debt-free. I mean, you were publicly traded. I love that. There's no embellishing here, folks. Everything's transparent. Last I checked, there's $17 million in the kitty, right? So think about that for a second. Did companies go out of business because they have too much money? No, right? We all know how they go out of business. So when you're researching, those are some of the things that you want to research to make sure the company is stable. When I started with this company, folks, you probably thought I had a screw loose. This company was only doing 3 million in sales. And we weren't on the NASDAQ yet. We were a pink sheet. Stock was at 17 cents. So I've watched the company grow from 3 million to just under $250 million in these 14 and a half. Well, we did that in 3 years, by the way, but I've been with the company 14 and a half years. It's been incredible. I just knew we had something that no one else has. I mean, think about competition. Think about business. What if you're the only game in town? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? That's what I saw 14 and a half years ago. And then you had an ABC primetime news piece that did a positive spin on your company. Point Guide Direct, right? How simple is that? That's what I saw. Can you imagine if you owned your own company and ABC News knocks on your door and says, oh, by the way, we've been hearing nothing but great things about your business. We'd like to do a positive spin on it. And oh, by the way, you had no competition. Would it help you get a few more customers? Folks, that's what I saw, right? In addition to be debt free, I mean, have anybody ever heard of Aaron Brockovich? I mean, you remember Julia Roberts? She did the movie Aaron Brockovich. You know what she did for a living, right? She was an expert in digging dirt on companies and spanking them for doing the wrong things, putting profits before people instead of people before profits, right? And she loved our company so much. She loved the activation of it. She's on our board of directors. So don't you think for a second she would have research, dig as much dirt as she could possibly find on this company? She didn't find any. And that's why she's a representation of this company, right? As well as other former board executives of some of the top companies in the world that's steering the company ship. Pretty cool stuff, right? So, membership types, okay? This is basically what you're looking at, all right? If you want to be a customer, there is a retail price, which is going to be the most expensive. When you go into a store, do you want to buy it at retail or would you rather buy it at wholesale? Right? That's why there's Costco and there's all kinds of memberships out there to be able to save money, right? Well, retail is buying the product once, right? If you want to get on subscription, which I would highly recommend, you're going to save 10% on that retail price. And then as you keep buying month after month after month, because that subscription will be delivered to your doorstep, you start accruing these monthly rewards. You're going to be part of a monthly reward circle. And as time moves on, based on the amount of money you're spending, you start to get free products, right? Now, for those of you that saw this as a business opportunity, you want to make up that $1,000 a month that we lost, right? You can be a consultant for this company. There is a $50 annual fee, pay once a year to renew your membership, basically. And you're buying it at a 10% savings on the subscription price. So that means a 20% savings on the retail price, right? So you're going to get the cheapest price, obviously, being a consultant. And there's 8 different ways of commissions. I'm not going to go into all of them tonight. And there's all kinds of travel perks. I mean, there is a, incentive trip, an African safari coming up in South Africa. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. And more importantly, from all the business people out there, the second you get your ID, you've got a business website that if you try to do on your own today would probably cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you don't have to touch it. The company maintains everything for it. So think about you're owning your own business, but there's no moving parts. The only 2 things that we do is we get customers and we get customer getters. LifeVantage does everything else for us. Pretty cool. Okay. And by the way, there's no cost accrued to you on that business website. Okay. This is one of the 8 ways that we get paid. And this is just, selling products to customers. This has nothing to do with consultants. And you can see on the far left-hand side, you have sales volume. You call it customer sales points. When you get to 500 or more, you start making 15% on every customer that you bring in. Before you get to 500, you make 10%. So let's say if you had 5 customers, and then on that 6th customer, it took you over 500, on that following month, now you'd be paid on 15% on all 6 of those customers. All right, so you get a pay raise. Pretty cool. Once you get up to 1,000 in sales volume, customer points, now you are awarded another 5%. So now you're making 20% on every customer, including the ones you had before you got to 20%. Once you get to 2,000, you get another bump, 25%. Once you get to 4,000 in sales volume, now you're making 30% on every customer. And 4,000, by the way, folks, is pretty simple to get. So look at the earnings. When you get 4,000, there's that 12,000. Remember I said it's really, it's costing us $1,000 a month on what we our lifestyle was in 2021. Well, we just made it up with something as simple as getting 4,000 in customers. And that is just pittance. You'll see the income disclosure statement a little bit later. That just gives you an idea. I mean, think about 30% of what you're selling. Ask a retail person how much they get selling blouses or selling, whatever. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do if you want to get started, you pick a pack, right? And these are 3 different packs, and I believe there's more of them. I just use the price points. You can one-time buy-in. It's just one time. You can start as low as $250. And by the way, you're just buying products. You're saving 18%. So you're actually getting about $350 or $400 in products for $250. That's how I look at it. So in other words, there's no risk. If you decide not to open your mouth, once you become a customer, I can guarantee you one thing. You become healthier. All right. There's no risk. Spend $250, get 400 in products, worst case scenario. If you want to try the skincare regimen, right? In addition to our liquid collagen and our flagship product, spend $350. You get about 500, 22% savings, right? And by the way, you get a virtual ticket to one of our events, okay? And then the pack that I came in with, just because it was the biggest bang for my buck, you spend $1,000 and you get about $1,400 worth of product, and you get to try all of them. I love that, right? So you just get in where you fit in. Look at the savings, 36% savings. So it's a one-time buy-in. And then the next thing that you do is you just pick a stack, okay? And this is how you become commissionable, all right? And you can see the price points again. Okay. You have the one on the right, the consultant price is $310. The customer subscription, the monthly subscription is $348. The customer's $387. The one-time buy-in, that's the retail price. This is the subscription price, $348, and this is a consultant price. So if you love the skincare regimen, you want to stay on the liquid collagen and the Protanum NRF2, there it is. And now you're commissionable to make money. All right. So these are just different stacks for different, health needs, basically. The one on the left, this is just the 30-day supply of liquid collagen and Protanum NRF2 by itself. The one-time price is $219. The subscription is $197 and the consultant is $175. I mean, I just tell people this: if you're going to love these products and you're going to be on a month after month after month, why not just become a consultant and save all that money in the long run? You'll make up that $250, that $350 or $999 as the months go by. And then now you've got your own home-based business. Now there's things to write off at the end of the year. And there's things to write off on doing certain things, right? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, but that's just how I think, okay? So here's our income disclosure statement. Now, what I want you to understand is that we're publicly traded. So these numbers have to pass through muster, the Federal Trade Commission, the Security and Exchange Commission, and you can see the ranks all the way to the bottom, right? Just concentrate on the third row, right? What I did is I just said, listen, what if that you need to make $650 a month, right? What do I need to do to make 659. Just get with the person that invited you to this webinar, and he'll or she'll just reverse engineering it. You're just what's called a senior consultant 3, which simply means your business is just doing 6,000 a month in volume. Very, very, very small amount, right? If your number is a little bit bigger, this is what my number was back in 2009. But at Managing Consultant 2, we were a company that was smaller. The average monthly back then was only 20, I think it was 2,100. Today it's 3,200 a month. And by the way, this is part-time, folks. My 2 children were going to private school, and we got hit hard financially. We lost those 3 6-figure contracts. And I honestly got started because I didn't have the stomach to go to my 6-year-old, 9-year-old and tell my children that mommy and daddy didn't have the money for them to go to Riverside Presbyterian Day School. So I just went to who is now my mentor and said, listen, I need to make that. Tell me exactly what I need to do to make that, because I want to keep my kids in private school. That was my why I did the business. And not being braggadocious, but I did that in my very first month. And that's 20,000 in sales volume. I got after it, right? And people have broken that record, by the way. But look at the numbers. I mean, in 2014, my wife and I, we hit the very bottom. We hit the presidential consultant. Look at the money. I mean, is it 88,000 a month? Is it 53,000? Is it 130? I mean, start off as a side hustle like we all did. And then if you're teachable and coachable and you got this strong work ethic and you got this desire that you want change in your life, I tell you what, that plan B in 22 months became a plan A for us. We hit the executive consultant 2, where it says Elite Pro 8 in 2011, 22 months later. And today the price says, I mean, the average monthly commission is about 25,000 a month. Ours, we were making just a little bit less than that, but it was enough for us to walk away and do this full time. And since then, we've built it 6x. So it's been absolutely amazing. We have over 100,000 people in our network, and we get paid in 26 countries. And before I sign off tonight, you want to be looking for ways to be able to make money while you sleep. You want to be able to do something one time and get paid again and again and again. That's precisely why I was able to walk away from that 35-year career in just 22 months. Because when I was training people, I was trading time for money. How's that going for everybody in this country? The word retirement for me was nowhere on the horizon. I was 50 when I started this business. I was the old guy in the gym, starting to panic a little bit, right? And then we went through that major 2009 debacle. And in 22 months, completely changed our lives. Today, it's been the most incredible 14.5-year run. So if you're looking for something and you're not quite sure what you're looking for, but maybe you want to finally be on your own terms, meaning you want to be your own boss, or maybe you want to try to pay off some credit card debt, or maybe you want to try to figure out a way to save money now for your kids to attend college without taking that second mortgage out. Whatever it is, whether it's a couple $100 a month, this is something that I truly believe is what you are looking for. Because if you really put your entrepreneurial cap on, we actually are the only game in town. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of supplement companies out there. There's one activation company. So imagine if you're the only game in town. What if you had no competition? Does it make it a little bit easier to build a business? Absolutely it does. So you always want to, don't wait until things happen like we did. You always want to dig that well before you need water, right? And I'm hoping all of you might be in that place right now. Never depend on a single income, right? So get with the person who invited you tonight, and if you need more information, get more information from them. If you want to become a customer, you just don't see this as a business opportunity right now, I'm telling you, folks, you'll get on these products and you won't get off of them. And there's so many testimonies that we could talk about, just don't have time. But more importantly, if you see this as a viable way out, right? What if you're not being paid what you're worth, right? What if this is not cutting it, right? And you don't know what you're looking for, you're just open. I'm telling you, this is what you're looking for. I've been with this company 14 and a half years. The company's under promised and over delivered in every facet. It's been the most incredible journey of my lifetime so far. So thank you so much for being on tonight. Get with the person who invited you and thank them for thinking of you, and let them know whether you need more information, you want to become a customer, or more importantly, you want to join the team, because I can guarantee you one thing, this particular business, and listen to me very carefully, you cannot get what you want until you help enough people get what they want. So when you look at the income disclosure statement and you see where my wife and I are at the very bottom of that, don't value us by the money that we make, value us by how many people we've helped to be able to get to where we're at. So with that said, thank you so much. Next week, same ID number, same time. I probably won't have an expert next week because as you can see, I'm looking at notes right now. I'm getting back in the driver's seat. It's been 3 years since I've been flame throwing. So I'm just doing what our product does. I'm getting the rust off, okay, to be transparent with you. So thank you so much for being on. We'll see you next Monday night, 8 p.m. This is Gabe Pearson. Take care, everyone.